Hello, this is Steve. In this session, I will show the authentication process for the guest. First of all, I will talk about the purpose of authentication. One of the reasons for authentication is to identify who used which device. Identifying when the user used the device and verify and record that you are satisfied with the internal security policy. It also assigns permission for each user to access the network by role. For example, if it is a guest, the internal network cannot be accessed and only access the internet. In an environment Genian NAC is running, I will let you know how guest goes when connecting to the internal network. The device first connects to the network, the device will be blocked. And when trying to access the internet, it is redirected to the suitable page. The suitable page means it's a captive web portal page. The suitable page requests user registration for use in the network. And NIC received the information such as ID, password, company, and proposal from guest via on the user registration page. And the guest authenticate with the registered ID, login. The Genian NIC assigned the network access permission to guest. Let me show you the demonstrations. The first one is the create guest authentication policy. So, yeah. I will log in the NEC console. Sorry. And now here is the one sensor and one policy server. Policy. Let's guess the now 127.173 IP is the guest. So we check the first node policy and click the default policy. All node group is assigned this policy, and authentication method is the password authentication. It means password enable. And update it. And we check the enforcement policy. Now user not authenticated policy is the status is disabled. Let me see how the node group is including. User not authenticated, condition is authenticated user, status is user not authenticated. So we enabled this policy. Update. Yeah, now 22 node is include the user not authenticated. But I don't want to, I told the only 127.173 node is need the authenticated, so we need to change the user not authenticated policy and click the node group and add the condition IP is equal to 173 add, and boolean option is and update and apply. Now user not authenticated, just one node is included, 127.173. Rest of node is the assign the default policy of enforcement. And I check the PC. One two seven dot 173. Try to connect the internet. Now it is access the internet because the sensor mode is the now passive mode. The monitoring mode is just would collect the information, not enforcement or block. So we need to change the sensor mode. And now sensor operating mode is monitoring. I change the enforcement mode. Update. And you can see the color, sensor color is the monitoring mode is the blue, enforcement mode of the pink. So it changed the color. You will change the color from blue to pink. Now it is the enforcement, applied enforcement policy. So let's try internet access again. Yeah, you can see the page. And second demonstration is apply for account using the user registration system. Genius analysis provide the user registration system. The system means click the node policy and default policy. Now user account request now is on. It means when the user doesn't have the username ID in the company, the user try request user account, click the user account, and they request their username ID. Username, yeah, test check availability. Email, yeah. smim.com, check availability. Username is available. Yeah, my name is Steve. Password. And submit. Okay. And login. Authentication. Why this is authentication? Because the number 3 demonstration, we can see user approval. That user yet approved the ID by the administrator. So we can see the management and request. Now we can see this user request the user ID. So if I accept the user ID and then try again, yeah, you can see the authenticated the step. And if you don't want to approve the guest owned by itself, we provide the automatically approved system. So let me guess the approved user guest and insert approval enable and on. If the enable the approval instant, you don't need the accept the from the guest requestment. So and Steve and log out and request user again. And I'll check availability another ID T1 submit and main page and login. We don't need any approval by operator. Yeah, you can see the authenticated by step 1. We don't without any permission from the Genian NH operator. Lastly, so edit the user registration system page. So it means so you can change the message. Steve and log out. Now access denied, you may need to register and click install agent button or login required login button to login. This message you can change it. Preference message and auth login required also key1 can delete the message or operator number is 000.000 and update it. And let me see the web page again. Retry. Yeah, you can see that add the message. Yeah, so far I introduced our authentication for guests using our NAC.